Welcome into MLS Next Cup presented by Allstate. We've been crowning champions all week long. It's the inaugural season of the Academy Division, and already 3 champions have been crowned. We've got one more final in the Academy Division to bring to you live from Zions Bank Stadium. It's a fact. And welcome into Zions Bank Stadium. Perfect skies overhead as we're getting ready for the U19 Academy Division Final at 2026 MLS Next Cup presented by Allstate. Celtic Storm against St. Louis Development Academy. So we can take a look at the pathways for these U19 squads. 32 teams came here to Utah. Only 2 remain. A trophy on the line this afternoon for Celtic Storm and St. Louis Development Academy. Welcome into the booth along with Jalil Anibaba. I'm Carter Augustine. Thank you for joining us as you have done all week long. 3 Academy Division finals. 3 champions have been crowned. We've got 1 remaining, Jalil, and it's a good one. The crowd is packed. It's a hometown squad. Celtic Storm U19 championship to be determined here this afternoon. What are you hoping for here today?
I'm hoping for goals. I'm hoping for excitement. I'm hoping for the crowd to have an opportunity to play a part here, because every single individual that has been tuning in with us, first and foremost, we very much appreciate it, but we want excitement, and that's typically what finals deliver.
Well, the goals have been flying in over this championship weekend. What do we have in store for us here today? Let's take a look at the lineups, and as mentioned, we've got a team representing the host state. It's Celtic Storm representing Utah, and they are packing the stands in the green and white as we take a look at their 4-3-3 formation. This is a tightly knit group, and 3 of these players are already committed to Air Force. Benjamin Bradley, Sebastian Hiraman, and Lewis Peterson will continue on to the next level. They'll be hoping to have the next pro championship, next cup championship in under their belts when they move on. As now we'll look at the St. Louis Development Academy starting 11, also lining up in that 4-3-3. 3-0 over Elk Grove in the semifinals. They've been together for a while. This group, says the coaching staff, they're hoping to bring back the first ever title for their club back to St. Louis. Of course, a hotbed for talents, soccer in America. Fabulous crowd on hand to try and cheer on the home team, the de facto home team here this afternoon, Celtic Storm, representing Orem, Utah, and emerging from this region, hoping that the home confines can help them emerge as champions, as it's the first season of the Academy Division. Right around 230 clubs involved. Only 32 were able to get through to MLS Next Cup presented by Allstate. And we're down to the final 2 teams. It's Celtic Storm, St. Louis Development Academy. Away we go. It's the U19 Academy Division Final. MLS Next Cup presented by Allstate. Celtic Storm in the Celtic colors, the green and white hoops going left to right, as St. Louis Development Academy with that modern tactic to pump the ball diagonally long from the opening kick, try and pin their opponents deep. Along with Jalil Anibaba, I am Carter Augustine. Thank you for joining us here this afternoon, as you have done over the past 8 days of the competition. This is the penultimate match on our broadcast schedule. 1 final to come later on this afternoon. St. Louis DA in the all blue from right to left, and it's Celtic knocking things around the back line. Fabulous crowd, Jalil, and that just kind of ups the intensity level ahead of kickoff here.
It absolutely does. It makes me more excited to call this game. It makes all the players down there on the pitch more excited as well. Of course, the quote-unquote home team, local team, if you will, in Celtic Storm. They're going to take a lot of the energy from the crowd here today, but the only way that you really get the crowd into the game is you play some great football, and that's what we want here down on the pitch, and that's typically what you get when you're looking at a final, because you have the two best teams in this age group that have emerged here in the finals.
Well worked by Celtic into the left-hand side of the attack. Oh, that's a clever little drag back on the take, but nicely timed the challenge, making that drag back a little bit irrelevant. Spoke to the Celtic Storm coaching staff, and they highlighted how talented this group is. Already 3-time national championship, hoping to make it 4 times national champions here today. Coaching staff said only 2 groups before had done the three-peat. They wanted to make it 4 national titles if they can get over the line in this final here this afternoon. That might just speak to the cohesion for this Celtic Storm bunch. As they have the possession here in the early stages. And a touch for Jace Thompson. It's St. Louis able to get stuck in, and all of a sudden it's St. Louis Development Academy flying up the other end. Brody Wilson turning defense into offense. That's calmness personified on the end line. He keeps it in play under pressure. Cool head at the back for Celtic Storm. St. Louis DA able to work it into the attack once again. Wilson looking to get in behind. Slide challenge well timed. Lewis Peterson, but it is out for a corner kick. The first of the match goes to St. Louis Development Academy. Trotting over to the far side, Henry Sanders going to deliver the game's first corner kick. 3 minutes gone on a beautiful afternoon in Harriman, Utah, here at Zions Bank Stadium. Flat trajectory to the back post. Double deflection off the green and white, and we'll have another corner kick, this time from the near side. Just a gorgeous backdrop here at Zions Bank Stadium.
It never gets old. Never gets old. When you have a spectacle of a match and a spectacle of a venue, it doesn't get any better.
Tucked into the Wasatch Mountain Range. As these boys aren't worried about the picturesque scenes. They want the pictures of them lifting the trophy. That was a decent delivery to the back stick. Celtic on hand to clear it not once but twice. Throw in now on the far side for St. Louis. Good feet along the far sideline. Scramble clear. That's clever. On the bounce.
Very good first touch out wide.
And now it's with Sanders floating one towards the back post. Just ahead of the run of Brody Wilson. Well spotted by Samuel Parker as he lets it run out for a goal kick to Celtic Storm. The 3-time national champions, this particular group for Celtic Storm. They've arrived at the final in good form, as you would expect. 6-2 in the round of 32 against Plantation FC Rush. A 3-1 victory over Fox Soccer Academy Carolinas in the round of 16. 3-2 over FC Delco in the quarterfinals. And then they just got done playing against a team from St. Louis. St. Louis Scott Gallagher in the semifinals through on penalties in a fantastic semifinal on Friday. Looking for back-to-back victories over St. Louis sides in the semifinals and final here at the tournament. They've got numbers forward. Snuffed out on the far side by Connor McClure. Well-timed challenge from the right back, and it's out for the throw. Quickly in now for Jace Thompson. Right idea, but a bit heavy, the backward pass. Strong in the challenge was Sean Castaneda. His 50-50 might send St. Louis up the other end. Important touch around the defender. And now off to the races is Andrew Wolf. He's marked by Peterson. Marked well by Peterson. Peterson wrestles control away for Celtic Storm.
Yeah, that's effective defending there from Peterson in the channel. Just make sure 1v1 you stay dominant over your attacking player, that you have to make sure they don't grow confident into the game. Allows your team now to charge forward.
Plenty of players available in this attack. Ooh. Step over to the byline is a good one. The cutback is eventually picked up. Backtracking onto the penalty spot was Brooks Barker. Enough blue shirts back there to defend for St. Louis. Now a foul drawn, just a bit overzealous to get involved in that tackle. Down goes Henry Sanders. Free kick for St. Louis DA. First time we've seen Celtic Storm really get into the attacking area. And a first look for Brooks Barker. Looked like he was second favorite to get to that ball inside the box. He's got good instincts. He's been in the goals for this Celtic Storm side. Scored at least once in 3 of their 4 matches en route to the championship game. Crowd loves a little bit of nutmeg. Who doesn't? And now the dummy letting it roll through towards Landon Michaelis. Michaelis handing it off. Cutting in field was Stevenson. Patrick Stevenson. Pocket of space here on the corner of the box. They're looking for a foul. Down went Sebastian Hewerman. Part of that trio that will continue on the same team. Trio of Celtic Storm players committed to Air Force. He's picking up a good pocket again, Hewerman. On the spin, he's going to look towards the left-hand side. Edge of the box, rolled into feet. And again, St. Louis with enough numbers back. That touch is a bit heavy. Sliding in Benjamin Bradley. Just outside the area, and the goalkeeper there able to watch it wide. Jacob Steinbacher just seeing that wide of his right-hand post.
High press, turning defense into offense very quickly, then just staying in that aggressive fashion to just push it out and then have a strike there. Really like that. What you're seeing from Celtic Storm early on is they're moving the ball side to side and patient in their buildup, but when they pick the ball off high via their press, they're looking to go and get an attack very quickly. Both teams coming out in a 4-3-3, which will allow Celtic Storm, let's say, primarily to be able to get out on the high press, step their numbers up high, and then they still have numbers when they win the ball to be able to get chances off. And that's the first time we've seen them do that. Look for them to continue on.
Just outside the control of Sanders, and the roll all the way through to Samuel Parker. At a walking pace, the Celtic Storm goalkeeper. It slid across to Lewis Peterson. Now Patrick Stevenson. Stevenson to Peterson. Patience in the build-up here from Celtic Storm. Checking 2, that was Thompson. Scoop through into Barker. He lays it off first time. Great control from Wilson. He can't make it stick. Good period of play here for Celtic Storm. 10.5 minutes gone. 0-0 at this U19 Academy Division Championship match. MLS Next Cup presented by Allstate. Stevenson down the right-hand side, and he's going to earn a corner for Celtic Storm. Couple corners already up the other end. Now what can Celtic Storm do with their first?
I like that from Stevenson, just getting down toward the end line, looking to get a good service in. It's basically a win-win situation because if the defender is able to get a block in, you get a corner kick first in the afternoon.
The man who won it will be the man to deliver. Patrick Stevenson. It's a big stack at the back stick. Floated up to the top of the box. Now Barker can't get it through the defender. Dumped into space to chase. That's asking a whole lot. He's quick, Brody Wilson. He's not going to catch up to that one. Slid in behind by Sean Castaneda. St. Louis DA arriving here thanks to a 2-1 victory over Albion SC San Diego in the round of 32. They moved on to a 3-1 victory over Club Ohio. That's an impressive victory considering Club Ohio reached the final in 2 of the other age groups in the Academy Division. Then on penalties, they got past Players Development Academy in the quarterfinals before a 3-0 victory over Elk Grove in the semis. Controlled that from the very starts in the semifinal on Friday. They had St. Louis DA. Castaneda trying to hold things up. It's proving difficult at the moment. They're swarming Celtic Storm. Man on, he didn't hear the cries. Barker comes from behind to pinch it. And it's just going to be scrambled away. That might turn into an outball, though. Off and running is Wolf. Peterson. First step was in his mind there.
Yeah, good read there from Peterson. Takes up a good angle to make sure Wolf isn't first to it. Reading the play in that fashion from a center back is very important because Wolf is going to look for any opportunity to use his pace to create problems for the defense.
Adam Traxel smash it away. That's calmly done. The nod down header from Axel Antonio Lopez. Chase Worrell is back defensively. Celtic have the momentum on their side in the early stages of this one. Charging forward, Blake Stewart. Foul on the far side, free kick. And look at all the other Celtic Storm Academy young players helping to cheer on the older guys along the far sideline. They're banging on the boards here ahead of a tantalizing free kick position.
Yeah, and the energy and support from different teams is always one of the best things about the whole MLS Next setup.
Up towards the back posts. Rising well was Barker. His header is kept in play. Second opportunity from the set piece. They've stayed up. It's whipped in low. Good ball in. Flash header goes wide. Second phase of the set piece. Celtic Storm carving out an opportunity there.
Good service comes in from wide, a skim header that almost finds the back of the net here. Play is recycled back toward top box, if you will, just whipping it in. Looking for that skim header to find the back of the net. Celtic Storm is growing more and more comfortable in this game.
Give and go for Sebastian Huerman. First time back for Michaelis. Stevenson looks left, ducking back right for Michaelis. In support is Bradley. Huerman into the channel, sliding through the turf. It is kept alive by Thompson. Michaelis has support on his right. That's Barker. Barker gets the cross away. Wilson. Touch around the defender. And he turns on the afterburners. The afterburners not enough. Great recovery challenge. And St. Louis struggling to get out of their own half. Michaelis now into a pocket Charging forward was Stewart. Wilson back defensively. And he draws a foul. That will relieve some of the pressure that had been building on St. Louis DA.
A lot of determination on both sides of the ball here. I think the foul was given, but incorrectly. The attacker is the one that makes the initial contact there. He was outnumbered. St. Louis DA is looking for is a few moments to be able to regain possession, for Celtic Storm to work a little bit off the ball to try to regain it, because Celtic Storm has been carrying the momentum so far, and what that does is it makes you tired early on in the match. Only 17 minutes have been played, and obviously at this point in time Celtic Storm has been pushing St. Louis DA back. Ooh, bit of an errant pass, but what that does is it's going to now creep into the mindset of St. Louis DA just a little bit. They know that the momentum will eventually swing into their favor, but when you have to defend wave after wave early on, it makes it difficult mentally and physically.
Into the channel, the chase is on. Chase won by Chase Worrell. Corner to come for Celtic Storm. A thumbs up for the service.
Good ball into the channel. Makes the back line have to turn, face their own goal, and settle for a corner kick. These types of balls here are very dangerous because it gives the advantage to the attacker. Defense doesn't have much to be able to do with it except for take a risk. And that risk is having to defend a corner kick, and they're able to do it initially.
It's taken quickly. Now on the second phase, Barker pulling wide. Barker floats into the back post. Header won by St. Louis, importantly so.
Yeah, good defending there at the back post. First, the positioning is on point, allows them to get into a transitional moment, but stifled here from Celtic Storm. I just like the energy in this match so far, Carter.
Now Wilson on his bike to get to it in the corner, and he keeps it in play for St. Louis. Wilson sizing up to the opponents, and he can't get beyond him. Rare opportunity in these early moments for St. Louis. They had some numbers on a possible counter. Good bit of defending from Landon Michaelis to stop the move for Celtic Storm. Acres of green space for Hewerman. And now he'll drop it to his right to Stevenson. Stevenson. Quick little 1-2. Hewerman for Benjamin Bradley. Scoop a bit too cute in the end, and it's going to be scooped up by Steinbacher. Lumped long for Castaneda to challenge. Does fall for Wilson. Another fortuitous bounce for St. Louis. Shot dragged wide by Andrew Wolf. Little Route 1 action there for St. Louis DA, and did turn into a half chance.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that from St. Louis DA. They've been defending, and then when you can get yourself into a position to be able to have a strike on goal, it doesn't always have to be the prettiest, but
really well read there. Bit of a loose pass at the back, and it was Parker Jetton stepping in to earn a free kick for St. Louis. Referee points to the whistle as he's going to mark off the 10 yards for this free kick opportunity. Good look from behind the goal as Samuel Parker organizes his two-man wall. Sanders on the dead ball for St. Louis. Got 3 in blue to the left. Just 1 to the right. They're leaving plenty back. He's going to go for goal from here. It's a long way out. Sanders goes for goal. One hopper for Samuel Parker.
Yeah, Henry Sanders just looking to have a strike, letting it skip up off the turf, but since it's dry, it's going to be a pretty easy one to read from the goalkeeper. Turf bounces in a way that, again, when it's dry, the goalkeeper can read it pretty easily there. Routine save in the end.
71 degrees. Been sunny all day long here in Harriman, Utah. Michaelis pulling up on the reins, finding Stevenson. Just always seems there's someone in green and white in support. It's Bradley. Spotted the run. So too did Adam Traxel. Hiraman. And back again with Bradley. Through traffic, first time pass to the near. Stevenson into the area. Michaelis keeps it going. To the top of the box. Well saved. Steinbacher keeps it 0-0. A free-flowing move in green and white. Legal tackle. And that keeps the ball in the attack for Celtic Storm. Thompson. Checking two was Barker. Checking back, importantly, was Sanders. Celtic Storm dominating the ball here in the early stages.
The last chance that they had was their best look. Intricate play down the right-hand side, and it eventually fades into the middle there. Some very tight 1-2s to confuse the defense of St. Louis. And then a very good strike on goal, and the goalkeeper makes the eventual save, but that's better from Celtic Storm.
Big overload on the far side in the green and white. Jetton stepped in. Quickly back again with Celtic Storm. Spinning back to the far side was Thompson. Eyes up for the cross. Cut out on the penalty spot by Worrell. Peterson. Everybody in green and white into the attacking half. That's a clever dummy. Shot straight down the middle. Well saved by Steinbacher. The chances are starting to materialize for Celtic Storm.
Yeah, and this is the previous chance here. Just a little in, back, and through. Good presence of mind. The eventual strike on goal is exactly what you want, low and hard to the far post. Goalkeeper is just up for the challenge and does make a good parry to not give a second bite at the apple. Here what we're seeing from Celtic Storm, they're doing a very good job to get numbers in and around the box. And when they combined into their number 9, there's opportunity for him to either roll the defenders or lay it back for second chances via a strike top box or deeper, if you will. You also have the opportunity to fade it back out wide for subsequent service. So I like what I'm seeing from Celtic right now, but the game is still locked. You have St. Louis Academy. They're doing a good job to make sure that they get ample numbers behind the ball.
They're crowded up at the top of the 18. Inventive defending there. A little shoulder check away by Chase Worrell. Hopped up at an awkward height for him, and he reacted. It's Thompson up towards the back post. Oh, that's a glorious ball. Running onto it was Brooks Barker. Best chance of the match so far.
Again, Celtic has a lot of numbers in the attacking third with options. And it creates confusion for St. Louis because they're worried about the way that they've created the previous chances, which is intricate play through the middle. But that service to the back post is an excellent one.
In defeat, Castaneda being tasked with trying to hold things up in this first half, and it's been a tough task so far. He's fighting, and it does help to earn a throw for St. Louis. Might have that little added impetus. St. Louis as being almost a de facto road team in the final here.
Yeah, we saw in the homegrown bracket of this age group, the Columbus Crew knocked off RSL earlier on in this tournament, and It's over at the other facility, but it was absolutely packed. So I like when any home side brings out all of the fans here, because it just brings for a better environment, as we have our first substitutions on the afternoon.
Coming from St. Louis Development Academy.
2 substitutions for St. Louis.
Doss Gibson going to check in.
Leaving the match, number 7, Andrew Wolf. Entering the match, number 21, Doss Gibson.
And Braden Missy.
Leaving the match, number 12, Sean Castaneda. Entering the match, number 92,
Ray Wilson and
Missy.
Sean Castaneda checking out. Those two running tirelessly to try and find some inroads in the attack. Some fresh legs on now for St. Louis. And of course for Celtic Storm, spoke to their coaching staff, what it meant to be the host team in the final. He said the excitement in the group was palpable when it was announced that Utah would be hosting this MLS NEXT Cup presented by Allstate. But he did say there are a couple positives, a couple negatives. They're missing out on that camaraderie when you get to go away on the road as a young team. And it's a little bit perhaps easier to avoid distractions when you're all bunched together at the hotel. They do get to sleep in their own beds.
Yeah, when you're home and regular life continues to persist in a tournament that's so important, sometimes you don't always feel the pressure that you need to be able to perform at the highest level. But that simply has not been an issue for Celtic Storm. They've been up for every single challenge. They've been very good throughout the course of this tournament, and they've been good early on in this match.
Brooks Barker started the move. He's now at the top of the 18, sliding it towards his left, ducking through a couple challenges, not ducking through them cleanly enough. Defense converge and earn a free kick.
Yeah, what's going to loom over the minds of St. Louis Academy, just hanging over them like a chandelier, is the simple fact that they have to defend wave after wave. And the reason why that seeps into your psyche when you're defending is that you can get tired, not physically, mentally. Because again, we've only played 28 minutes, but it's Celtic that they have been the ones that have been the aggressors here in this match. And when you have to get back into your banks, be very disciplined in your defending, it creates stress, because you know if you make one step wrong, you can get yourself in a very difficult situation. On the other side of that, though, Celtic knows they've had some half chances. Can they be more clinical?
Up, back, and through here for the green and white. Was that a tug of the shoulder? It was. Well spotted by the referee. Getting back defensively was Connor McClure for St. Louis.
In the end, McClure does a very good job here to recover and distinguish this attack here, because what we've been speaking about is Celtic Storm, they don't just attack with 1 or 2 players. They often have at least 3 to 5 players in the attacking phase. So again, that creates defensive stress, but the reason why, one of the main reasons why I should say, St. Louis Academy has gotten themselves into the finals here is they've been very mentally tough, had to defend in very difficult situations, and they're showing their ability to do that here today.
And now Celtic Storm going to head to the bench for the first time. Sebastian Heuermann's going to check out. He'll be replaced by Kobe Lerma.
The 30th minute, leaving the match, number 10,
And
Sebastian
Grayson Oram is going to enter the fray as he will replace Cameron Martin.
Match number 17, Cameron Martin, and entering the match, number 20, Grayson Oram.
So each team has gone to the bench, half an hour gone, scoreless in this U19 Academy Division Final. Lerma. And again, it's Lewis Peterson, who's in a good position defensively for Celtic. Michaelis. And they keep it ticking over into the heart of midfield is Kobe Lerma. He's already getting those touches Henry Aldrich along the back line with Lewis Peterson. Fitting it through into a tight window. Dummy was not the right decision that time around. It gives possession away for Celtic Storm. They're so quick to get back onto the ball when they lose out. Now on the turn is Oram. Down goes Oram. Free kick for Celtic Storm.
Yeah, that looked painful there. Oram just smashes into the defender here. It's looking to turn, and then as soon as he picks up his head, boom. That's a challenge that certainly deserves a foul. Celtic Storm will bring numbers forward here, only leaving.
Now again, Oram can turn.
Trouble.
Laid off for Stevenson. That was a laser, and that's a fabulous save. Steinbacher tips it up and over. He gets plaudits from his defenders. Those are well earned. That is a stunning save to keep it scoreless.
Yeah, here again, we've talked about the fact that Celtic, they attack with numbers here. They also have patience, understanding that it should be bumped over. Patrick Stevenson does a good job to just get this one out of his feet, has a strike. The angle isn't exactly what he wants. That's why the goalkeeper is able to make the save. But third corner kick on the afternoon.
That was steaming on its way. The in-swinger. Keeper got a hand to it. He's down on the ground. Little loft to the back post, and it's lofted up over the bar.
Dangerous service there into the mixer. Steinbacher does a good job to just rise up amongst the trees, get a strong fist to it, but he does have to scramble back. If that strike is on frame, you'd like to think that it will hit the back of the net. This game has good energy to it. I like the way that Celtic Storm have been attacking with numbers, and they've been clean in their approach. Can they continue on in this facet? Because when you're able to put the defense under a lot of stress, typically the dam breaks eventually. But again, the resolute defending and team defending of St. Louis has been prolific, and it's been impressive. I like how they get numbers behind the ball. They don't leave any defensive players without help. That's a sign of a very good team that's found themselves in the finals.
Little stutter step from Jedin. Now it's in behind. That was an opportunity, and it's hands to face for Braden Missy. He knows he had an opportunity to feed St. Louis into a one-on-one.
Absolutely. Here there could have been a potential foul in the midfield, but I like the fact that the referee allowed this one to continue on, because the best goal-scoring opportunity for St. Louis came right after that. Number 9 wasn't able to slip it in with the right angle and finesse, but you can't fault him, because when you haven't really gotten very many touches in a game like this where your defense has been featured heavily, number 9 takes a few touches to get into the game.
And he's just been off the bench as well, still getting those feet wet. Quickly worked into the area. Wonderfully timed that challenge by Traxel. He can't get it clear though. Again, the green and white shirts converge. Eyes up, Lerma. Good shot from the keep. Steinbacher commanding his area, and he wants to get going in a hurry. The toss out to the near side.
Yeah, we've seen confident play from Steinbacher early on. We've also been able to hear his communication. Goalkeeper needs both, needs confidence, needs communication for everybody to stay very calm. And that's what's important in a game like this when you're defending wave after wave. You need a goalkeeper that leads from the back, communicates, commands his box so that everybody knows when and if he's going to come out. And I like that from Steinbacher. He's going to need to continue on in that same fashion. Good ball in the pocket.
And a little touch around the on-rushing defender. That was Jetton to send it to the corner. Just a tad too heavy in the end. Nicely found in a pocket of space, and all of a sudden the blue shirts are racing back. Lerma Well held. Strong hands from Steinbacher. Tight angle for the shot. Steinbacher ensuring there was no type of rebound. Steinbacher lumping it forward. Missy trying to take it off the chest. Racing onto it, Wilson. Away by Aldrich. Heuerman. And there's the vision to spot Stevenson on his lonesome. Overlap arriving, that's Landon Michaelis. It's been a pensive pace at times in this first half.
Yeah, really have. But when you have this much joy and opportunity, you need to be clinical and hit the back of the net when you have the opportunity, because the soccer gods just don't seem to like this. I don't know why, but how many times have we seen in global football a team dominates, they're able to find good possession in the attacking third, they can't convert, and then the other team nicks one against the run of play.
That old adage, the chances you don't take are the chances that get taken against you. St. Louis have been weathering the storm. Ryan Sophie. For the first time we're seeing all the blue shirts forward in the attacking half. Worrell bringing it forward from his center back position. Had time to survey the scene. Two opportunities, couldn't smuggle it past the defender. Dip of the shoulder from Barker to put his defender in the spin cycle. And they matriculated down the left-hand side for a throw-in, Celtic Storm. Hands up from Thompson, and he is picked out in the heart of the pitch. Stevenson. Offside on the far side. Frustration for Celtic Storm. We've got a line change coming from Celtic Storm. 5 new players going to enter, along with a double substitution for St. Louis. Kiefer Cole and Elijah Vanette are the players checking in for St. Louis.
Substitutions for the Celtic Storm. Leaving the
A whole host of new players coming in the green and white.
Number 11, number
Corbin
10,
Gardner,
number 19.
Colton
Entering the match,
DeMann,
number 2, number
Colton
9,
Ashby,
number 13,
Christopher
number 12,
Salinas,
and number 8.
and Kian Sid.
St. Louis leaving the match,
A
number 3,
quintuple
number 24.
substitution for Celtic
Entering
Storm.
the match, number 83,
Heading into the
and
final
number
5
14.
minutes. That's a whole lot of substitutes to come out at once. And you have to wonder how that might affect the state of the game as well.
Yeah, managing minutes is hugely important for managers throughout the course of this tournament here. Sometimes you have to hit a whole cycle change like the dishwasher just to make sure that everybody is able to have, you know, good attentive minds going into things, but most importantly, the legs to be able to execute your game plan. And again, I give both of these teams a lot of credit to be able to advance into the final, because it's not easy whatsoever. Celtic Storm, of course, they've been the more dominant team, carrying possession, carrying the majority of the chances so far. And any manager that understands how to be able to use a deep roster better than their competition is typically more intelligent and also probably has a better roster. So I like what I'm seeing here for a line change.
Peterson, right inside channel. That's a fabulous ball in behind. Shot. Maybe just a bit rushed in the end.
Yeah, just a little bit, but I understand when you get toward the top of the box after intricate play here into the channel, sometimes you get a little bit exuberant. If you let that one just bounce one more beat, you'll be able to have a more extensive strike with more power.
Nod back to the goalkeeper. Good diagonal to the near side. First touch off the chest of Salinas, just a tad heavy. Now center circle, St. Louis, but the footsteps were coming and he did not heed the warning. Handball against Elijah Vanette. I like the dishwasher analogy.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, though. Sometimes you literally need a cycle change to be able to get everybody into this match. Also, it can create a situation where you present different matchups for the defense, or just different looks, maybe where half chances turn into clear chances turn into goals. So substitutions make sense, and the rules allow you to make line changes. People can come in and out of games.
Colton Demand makes himself available. Flying at it was Worrell to get the block in. Good duel on the near side this. Kian Sid earns a corner for Celtic Storm. 2 minutes plus stoppage time before halftime.
Last point on the substitutions as well. I've always been a huge fan of using everyone on your roster. If they're on your team, they should be good enough to play. Let them play, so that way it's much more difficult to defend you as well.
Into the 6. Important leap to get it clear. Looked like Adam Traxel was the man to do the defensive duties that time round for St. Louis. Salinas. Is the break on. Important touch. Aldrich denies the counter. St. Louis wanted to throw their goal their way. Instead, Celtic in a rush to get it back in with the throw-in. Aldrich looking long. Goalkeeper's going to come out the area, and he just about timed that well. That was trouble for Steinbacher.
Steinbacher's been alert. He's been very attentive to the times where he needs to either come off his line and command his area, or if he needs to communicate very pertinent information urgently to his team, he does that.
Two minutes will be added to the first half. 2 minutes.
Into stoppage time at the end of the first half. 2 minutes added on before the break, a minimum of 2. Someone to try and find the breakthrough. That one rolling away and end to touch. Goal kick to come for St. Louis. Steinbacher gonna push his guys forward ahead of this goal kick, centrally located on the edge of his 6. Deep delivery. A little shoulder down there from Doss Gibson. Worked in the end. And that's a foul from Kiefer Cole. He's claiming shoulder to shoulder. Referee saw otherwise.
Yeah, the reason why that one's a foul is because it comes a little bit from behind and the excessive force as well.
You're there, Doss. Give it on. That's fine, son. That's fine. Hey, we're up a bit. We're up a bit. That's fine.
Colton the man with the chip through.
Step well, step well.
Now it falls from a long way out. Goalkeeper was frozen. Kobe Lerma nearly breaking the deadlock as we approach halftime.
Same way in which Celtic has been dominating this game. is how they get this chance off. And Steinbacher is just left to stare and hope and pray that that went on the wrong side of the post. And it does, fortunately for him. The perspective of Celtic, again, what I like, they've continued on in the way that they've been able to find joy in this match. That's, again, pushing a lot of numbers forward, sustained attacks, wave after wave. They're patient, though. They don't just result for bad angles or, you know, taking shots at the wrong time, and then their high press allows them to stay on the front foot here. See, they lose possession, but then they gain it back very quickly. How many managers around the world want their teams to play in this fashion? It's easy to say that, but to be able to execute it, especially after so many different players have come into this game, the ethos has stayed the same. That's the sign of a cohesive unit.
Whistle rings out here at Zions Bank Stadium to bring the first half to a close. So far, no blood drawn. It's scoreless between Celtic Storm and St. Louis Development Academy. 0-0 in this U19 Academy Division Final at MLS NEXT Cup presented by Allstate.
My name is Brian Mollado. I play for LAFC 2 and my position is center defensive mid.
For Brian Mollado, wearing the black and gold has been more than a dream. Growing up in Los Angeles, Brian found more than just a club. He found a home.
It means a lot. Growing up here in LA, this is a club that gave me a lot of opportunities, which I'm really grateful for. Not only me, but my family. We're really grateful for this club, and it means a lot to me. You know, just wearing this badge every day, coming into the facilities every day, it just gives you that energy to work hard and just keep on progressing every day.
From the academy to the professional stage, Brian has grown with LAFC, on the field and off of it.
This club changes you a lot. It matures you at a young age for sure. I had a big injury 2 years ago, so I feel like that injury for sure made me more mature outside of the field. And also just the staff here for sure they push you outside of the field to be your better self.
That growth soon turned into recognition. Brian was named to the inaugural MLS Next All-Star Game in 2022.
You play with all the best from MLS Next, so it was a fun game. I had a lot of fun. It just gives you that encouragement to keep on pushing. And, you know, I told myself, you're doing great, but the job is not done. So just keep on pushing.
And in 2023, Mollado achieved a milestone that meant everything, his professional debut.
It meant a lot, not only for me, but for my family. We were very grateful for that opportunity that LAFC gave me. And that only meant one step closer, which was getting to the first team level. So it just motivates you to keep on working. It was a big accomplishment.
As a player, Brian prides himself on keeping things simple, dictating tempo, and doing the work that often goes unnoticed.
The way I would describe my game is, it's pretty simple. I keep it simple. I don't like to be too flashy. You know, 1-2 touches. I give some, tempo to the game. If we got to play quick, then we'll play quick. If we got to keep it calm, then we'll play calm.
What I like about Brian is that he's someone that has dealt with adversity. He's been through the injury process and has worked himself back to a really good rhythm. He has a vision and really links us up in the midfield position to progress the ball in our possession progression. He's a hard worker and very good professional.
Mollado's journey has also included the honor of representing the U.S. on the international stage.
It was amazing, man. Those are good memories, memories that you never, take for granted. It was great opportunities. It gives you exposure not only from here, from LA, but, from all over the world. And it meant a lot for me, just putting that badge on for the first time. It just gives you that energy to, represent your country at the top level and give it your all every game, I feel like just the intensity of these training camps is just so high. Everything is just so intense that you're always at your 100%. Bringing that into this environment back not only helps me, but also helps my teammates.
Through it all, Brian remains grounded, humble, hardworking, and focused on enjoying every step.
MLS Next Cup presented by Allstate, the U17 Academy Division Final. Sporting City against Rochester, New York FC, and inside 10 minutes, a match-changing moment.
Yeah, ball over the top there. Lara's first to it as far as positioning is concerned. Red card there to Campisi. Harsh, in my opinion, but it changes the complete tides of this game here. And you have Liam. He gets the goal scoring, started in the first half, and it wasn't easy for Sporting because Rochester did an excellent job to get numbers behind the ball, but that moment right there is what everybody that follows Sporting City loves the most.
Rochester held on for half hour before Bryden Liam put Sporting in front, but then into the second half, it was Porter Allen in his bag, and Sporting doubled the lead early on.
Yeah. Does very well to get down toward the end line there, and then Enriquez, the number 9, bumps it on. Man, that number 10, that's a young kid, but he's very happy to get himself on the score sheet. Fratman, we're going to continue talking about him because he's got some swag, and we're going to continue to see it. The high press is something that Sporting was being able to rely on throughout the course of this match. And here again, the determination to keep this going. The number 10 in the middle of your screen keeps his feet set, hits a little pirouette. That's a goal scorer's finish because he understands the weight of the goalkeeper is shifting to his right. He makes him shift back to his left and can't get back quick enough. That is excellent stuff from the youngster in Fratman.
Fabulous Fratman finish on the spin at the double. Sporting City were rolling in the second half.
Yeah, their patience is what allowed them to find more joy in the second half. They rely on it here. Again, how many times is it going to be said, Porter Allen, this kid can ball, and he finds himself on the score sheet for the 9th time in this tournament, Carter.
Scored in all 5 games en route to the championship. A bow well earned by Porter Allen as he was absolutely sensational at MLS Next Cup, but they weren't done just yet. They had their 4th. Soon thereafter, they had their 5th.
Yeah, when you talk about sensation, that ball over the top from the captain is completely filthy. Dallas Campbell puts Liam into a situation where he gets his brace second on the afternoon, and Liam is not done. He wants to continue to help his team to grow this margin further and further. The exclamation point here to seal the deal and take the trophy back to the Midwest.
An exclamation point on a championship performance. Juan Garduno with the final kick of the final. He guides it into the corner. 6-0 Sporting City defeat Rochester, New York FC. U17 Academy Division champions at MLS Next Cup.
U17 homegrown champions, Orlando City Youth SC. What a journey to get there. Your MLS Next Cup U17 final match recap. EJ Ricketts, Kalen Carr. 18 seconds into the match, Orlando City pressing the issue and force an own goal off the foot of Josh Brown.
Yeah, that's a great win to begin with from Stockhausen, and then down the right flank from Moore, and just puts it hard across frame. Good things can happen, and 20 seconds in, it's desperately unlucky from Brown. It sees it go in the back of the net, but what a start from Orlando.
Not long later, Atlanta responds. Santillan says, I got your back. Gets it level at 1 apiece with a fizzer here.
Yeah, Orlando struggled in that build-out phase, and Quan picks it up and draws attention. That little shift to the right foot is really clever from Santillan, and how about that? Striking it to the back post to level the match for Atlanta.
Also within 20 minutes, Atlanta would find joy on a set piece. There's a free kick here that led to a foul as Airy getting into the back of Quan, and Fakiesi would step up, and this is perfection.
Absolute perfect. You can't hit a ball better than that. What a strike from him, and Atlanta United from 1-0 down up 2-1.
Wasn't a lot happening for Orlando as they tried to fight back in the second half, but off the corner kick, Kingston Ricketts for the 2nd straight match, a huge goal late.
Oh my goodness, you cannot strike a ball cleaner than this. An absolutely perfect hit from Ricketts to bring Orlando right back in this.
A late goal in the 77th to force the shootout, and then it was the Shield show. Not 1, but 2 penalties denied. That set the tone in the shootout.
Yeah, wonderful from Shields, who just read it the right way early, had that confidence, and then that started coursing through the team. Aksak steps up in the 5th place, and the title goes to Orlando City. What a performance. MLS Next Cup champions.
say the world's game is played everywhere. This is how we play it here. Every weekend across North America. From Vancouver's mountain rain to the shores of Florida. From the City of Angels to the Heartland. The world's brightest stars light up our fields.
Let's go.
And our fans bring the world to life. In every language, in every city. One game, one roar. Sold out nights under lights. New soccer citadels rising from coast to coast. Every chant, every goal. Another brick in a growing relief. Now, the world's biggest stage comes to our home. And when they arrive, they'll find the game's heartbeat has been here all along.
Welcome back in. Just getting set for the second half. It's the U19 Academy Division Final at MLS Next Cup, presented by Allstate. 0-0 after the first 45. A cagey final thus far between Celtic Storm and St. Louis Development Academy. Very little chances of note in that first half. They've switched sides. Away we go for the second stanza. It's Celtic Storm now right to left in front of their hometown fans, representing Utah against the boys from St. Louis. Scoreless as we move into the second half. U19 Academy Division Championship match here at MLS Next Cup, presented by Allstate. Along with Jalil Anibaba, I am Carter Augustine. Jalil, that was a quite cagey first half. Nothing really to separate the sides. Saw Celtic Storm with plenty of possession, but the chances were at a premium.
Yeah, Celtics' opportunities were half chances at that. They had some decent looks at goal, but nothing too clear-cut, like the resolute defending from St. Louis. And what it's going to take to really break them down from the perspective of Celtic Storm is to be able to get down more toward the end line a little bit and to cut balls back, make the St. Louis defense face their own goal. The reason why that's so important is because it allows your attacking players to stay facing forward and have the advantage to jump on any attacks, and then it causes confusion for the defense because they're having to backtrack.
Well worked into the feet of Hewerman. He's going to keep it moving towards the far side. They want to switch it back to the near. Tried to get out of the way there. Was Corbin Gardner. Little 1-2 into the area comes Celtic Storm. Good hands again. Jacob Steinbacher, perhaps the standout performer from that first half.
Yeah, he's done a good job to make sure he doesn't give up any dangerous parries for easy tap-ins off of a ricochet. And the reason why his performance has been so important is because his back line has been having to pinch inside and put a lot of numbers toward the middle of the 18-yard box. And what Celtic has done to try to counteract that is to look for strikes at the top of the box. And anytime they've done that, he's been up for the challenge. Good ball.
A little stinger in behind. Running onto it was Kian Sid. And he spins to face the goal just outside the remit there of Hewerman. St. Louis get a foothold into the attack. They step high to Celtic Storm. And that's excellent defending. Not only did he block it, he kept it in play. Got a high line to Celtic Storm, and there's been a couple little moments where St. Louis have looked like they might break it.
Uh-oh.
A little bit short. Sid got a toe to it, but it falls to Steven Stobbs. Center circle. Free kick to come for St. Louis. If you're just joining us, this is the Academy Division at MLS Next Cup, presented by Allstate. First year that they have implemented this new structure. Right around 230 clubs across the country involved in the Academy Division. A regional setup that allows for top-tier competitive matches. Outside of the boot, stab towards Wilson along the near side. He's fighting in the corner. Impressive defending once again. Oh! Crunching challenge. Advantage has been given by the referee. Looking for the up, back, and through. There's Michaelis. Feeds the feet of Hewerman. Can't make it stick. Neither can Sean Castaneda. The starting striker back out for St. Louis. Sid. And through to the goalkeeper, Jacob Steinbacher.
Another look at this challenge here, just coming through. Not as much malintent in the challenge as maybe the trash talk there, but I was surprised to see the referee not blow the whistle there. Elected to go for advantage.
Standing over him like a linebacker there. Time for Bradley to turn and look to the far side. Watched out of play for a St. Louis throw-in. Tightly contested along the far side, and the throw will be exchanged now for Celtic Storm. Axel Antonio Lopez looking for Blake Stewart. Stewart into feet for Christopher Salinas. Back to Stewart it goes. Top of the box. Laid off for Hewerman.
Oh.
Off the post. Still alive for Celtic Storm. A little dummy to let it arrive at the penalty spot.
Oh,
that's clever.
One.
Little drag back into the shot. An important block for St. Louis. Goalkeeper's best friend to the rescue for St. Louis Development Academy. Sebastian Hewerman inches away from the opener.
Yeah, Hewerman out here swagging, though. He's looking for the opportunity to find himself on the score sheet and to send this crowd into a frenzy. Gets it out of his feet and has a strike. That's a daisy cutter, and he's very unfortunate that that finds the upright. Celtic Storm have been attacking in that exact same fashion. They're unfortunate not to find themselves at least 1-0 up right now. Got to give a lot of credit to St. Louis. They put numbers in front of the ball and congested that area right in front of the box. So the looks haven't been really crystal clear and or comfortable for Celtic, but that to me has been their best chance of the afternoon. Again, Hewerman has been all over this match and very unfortunate not to be on the score sheet.
The crowd desperate to have something to cheer for. You heard that reaction to it clanging off the post. Intercepted by Wilson. Quickly picked back up by Salinas. He gets it back from Hewerman. He tried to slide it into Barker. In the way was Traxel. Wilson trying to hold things up now for St. Louis.
That's crucial there from Wilson. Does a very good job to stay with that play. That is the type of dirty work that can pay dividends for a team. Oftentimes when we talk about doing the things that are a little bit more uncomfortable in football, we're talking about off-the-ball stuff, but sometimes it's running into the channel with the ball, being able to draw a very crucial throw-in for your side, but Celtic is staying on the front foot.
Prodded in behind, he keeps his feet! Goalkeeper makes the save! Jacob Steinbacher there to deny Celtic Storm and Kian Sid.
Again, what Celtic look to do is they'll attack you straight through the middle. They don't care nothing about width, and it's proven to be very dangerous for them. They are knocking on the door. They're trying to bang it in, and what I really like about this is that they stay with it. Not sure if Steinbacher gets a touch to it, but in the end, Celtic continuing to create chance after chance.
Corner kick right onto the goalkeeper. A punch away from Steinbacher, picked up by Hewerman. Cross along the edge of the 6. In the way was Traxel. Back-to-back corner kicks to come here for Celtic Storm. Left-footed service from the far side. Will it be an in-swinger? Up towards the edge of the 6. Knocked down Hewerman. First touch pass to the near side. Brooks Barker.
It's a good ball.
Floating one to the back post invitingly. And attacking it was Stewart, just a little bit late arriving.
It's a good teasing ball to the back post. Reason why it's a good ball is because it's right in that area where the goalkeeper can't come and get it, and it makes the back line turn. The attacking players on the back post can fade to it. They're facing forward, and they're typically going to be the first to it there. Just can't get that quite solid purchase on that header because it was tailing a little bit. But I like that type of service because, again, it's very difficult to defend.
Barker been at the heart of many good things. Little V-turn around the defender. Hewerman takes a deflection, and it falls kindly for Barker. Corner of the box. He skips past the defender into the area. Try to get past the second. Well-timed tackle. Chase Worrell there on the cover, but can't prevent the corner kick.
Yeah, good defending there. An emergency defending there from Chase Worrell. He does a good job to make sure he doesn't give up a penalty. Moves his feet, keeps his eyes on the ball. Another corner kick, 6th on the afternoon for Celtic Storm. Let's see if they can convert here, because they've grown more and more dangerous as this game has gone on in the 56th minute.
Corner count rising for the green and white. They're starting to run at the top of the box here. It's a look towards the coach for the play call. In towards the back post. Knockdown header's a good one! Surely! And it is! Off the post and in! Benjamin Bradley sends Celtic Storm into the lead in the final. A goal mouth scramble. Benjamin Bradley prods it home. Celtic Storm 1-0.
We often talk about the fact that set pieces, corner kicks, are the way that you can find yourself closer and closer to victory. On their 6th corner kick of the afternoon, they finally convert. And it is Benjamin Bradley doing the dirty work, keeping himself alive here, finding the back of the net. That is an opportunistic strike. He keeps himself poised and then makes sure that the goalkeeper has no ability to keep this one out. 1-0 to Celtic Storm in the 57th minute.
His first goal of the tournament, not a bad spot to find it. He was on the right spot there for the knockdown header. A couple of quick touches and a kiss off the posts for Bradley. Young man already committed to Air Force, and he has Celtic Storm flying now. That's a lovely switch to the near side. Stewart running into the space. Ball slipped in behind. And a bit of a miss kick there from Gardner, as he has an exasperated yell to the heavens, looking to go with that quick 1-2 punch for Celtic Storm. Foul right on the halfway line. St. Louis, will they send people forward here? Indeed, they are going to step in unison, walking into the attacking half. How do St. Louis respond after suffering the first blow in this championship match? They do have a come-from-behind victory in the tournament. That was in the quarterfinals against Players Development Academy. For the most part, they've been leading from the front. No one's going to pull out of a 50-50 with the trophy on the line. Crunching challenge one. Now Barker trying to fit it through the legs. Can't do so this time around. Gardner onto it. Handing off to the goal scorer. Bradley into Barker. La pausa, as they say, as he bides his time. Ooh. And now it's in behind from Hewerman. Stinging towards the far post and just wide from Kian Sid. Wind in the sails of Celtic Storm.
Sebastian Hewerman just understands the timing of this. Waits now. The reason why the timing is so important is because he plays it when the back line has to stop to try to keep Sid offside. Sid's timing to be able to run in behind is perfect because the ball from Hewerman puts him in a space where only he can get to it. Good strike there. He's very unfortunate not to find the back of the net as well. As Celtic has become, of course, advantageous in this game as far as the score sheet is concerned, they've been able to do that because they're understanding a little bit better how to break down this very resolute St. Louis defense.
You can see why they're 3-time national champions. Just a great feel and understanding for the boys in green and white. And there's a slip at the back, though, and it's Castaneda trying to take advantage. Shrugs off the would-be challenge of Peterson. Left edge of the area, he gets to the byline and slips down to see that move dissolve into nothing. We'll take a look back at that latest chance for Celtic Storm.
And you can see how it unfolds here. Hewerman just pointing in to backdoor the defense, and Sid looking to find that finish into the bottom corner. Again, the timing there is excellent between those two.
Salinas kind of gummed up in his shoes a bit, but Huerman is alert. He picks it up. Salinas one time, pass to the far side. Barker making himself available. Barker's there. Goalkeeper came rushing out. It's going to be a foul against Brooks Barker. So close to Celtic Storm doubling the lead. Brave goalkeeping from Jacob Steinbacher.
Yeah, but the reason why this game is halted immediately is because Steinbacher is potentially in some trouble as far as a head injury may be concerned here. I love what I've seen from him throughout the course of this match. He's been brave, he's been communicative, he's controlled that 18-yard box, especially the 6 as well as it gets closer to his net. Just hope that he's okay. He's sprawled out. It looks like he's just needs a moment there, but we've seen it a few times throughout the course of this tournament. Anytime any of our players are in a potential worry as far as head safety is concerned, we're going to make sure that that gets attended to.
And the home crowd, if you will, these numerous Celtic Storm supporters showing a good bit of sportsmanship there. A round of applause as Jacob Steinbacher picks himself up. Looks like he's going to be able to continue. Hour gone, 1-0 Celtic Storm. They were close to doubling their advantage there. A free-flowing move down the right-hand side. And this was the chance moments ago.
Huerman into the middle and then getting down toward the end line. That ball is excellent. And again, the goalkeeper in Steinbacher is collateral damage there, but he is up and okay. A very good sign.
Well, Barker with a bit of a swing and a miss, but the reason he did that was he saw that big pink shirt looming and bearing down on him. The bravery of the goalkeeper helping St. Louis to keep it at just the 1-goal deficit. Traxel.
Good ball.
Through the lines. He finds Sanders. His pass blocked. And onto it in a flash, Salinas. Keeping it alive with a bit of luck, and that's astutely done. Playing it in behind, space and time on the end line. Cross in! Oh, it's a golazo! Brooks Barker on his bike! One of the goals of the tournament! Brooks Barker doubles the lead for Celtic Storm, and he doubles it in some style. 2-0 in the championship match.
Oh, have yourself a day, Brooks Barker. This is exactly what I come to this tournament to see. Prolific goals and team progression up the right-hand side. Get down to the end line, pick your head up, have a bite, bang! That is excellent stuff. It trickles through, but if you are Brooks Barker, you are going to remember this moment for the rest of your life. When you talk about coming into a final, you want to deliver moments of magic. They go up 2-0 in prolific, beautiful, stunning fashion. Celebrate to the corner. Have yourself a day. That is excellent stuff. 2-0 to Celtic Storm here in this finals in the Salt Lake City area.
The future Georgetown Hoya, and he's out here bulldogging on the pitch. What a goal for Brooks Barker.
Fantastic. That gets everybody off of their seats. The home crowd, if you will, has a reason to go absolutely bonkers here. They're running away with this match. Man, I've called many games in my day. I've never stood on top of a chair to call a goal because I was lit up in here, man. Brooks Barker, tip of the cap, because that's exactly what we come here to see. We come here to this tournament, Carter, to see the best players in the country show what they can do in moments that mean the most to them. So much hard work has been put into getting to this tournament first and foremost. And then when you get yourselves into the final and you can deliver a moment like that in front of your friends and family, nah, that's what this game is made of.
They've got a free kick now as they're looking to make it 3-0. That's ambition from Axel Antonio Lopez. He sends it up and over. As you saw for Brooks Barker, it's his 7th goal of the tournament. He scored 4 back in the round of 32, a poker on match day 1, and he's not looked back. now has scored in every match but one of the 5 in the tournament for Celtic Storm. Got the eventual match winner in the quarterfinals. An important second goal in the semifinals as they held on through a penalty kick shootout. And this is a bit of a worry. He was down earlier, Jacob Steinbacher, and the referee wants to bring the trainer out to have a look. Looked like he took a cleat to the face on that near miss for Celtic Storm. And you like to see this from the referee. Good awareness of the scenarios, the situations out on the pitch. Trainer called out to have a look at the St. Louis goalkeeper, and that will allow for a bit of an impromptu hydration break for the players. They'll talk with their coaches, and we're going to take a little break as well. It's 2-0 Celtic Storm over St. Louis Development Academy. You're watching MLS Next Cup, presented by Allstate. In this U19 Academy Division final. We're going to move on to the homegrown final in the U19 level. 6 o'clock local time. That's right around 90 minutes from now or so. A good one in all MLS affairs. St. Louis City SC against Columbus Crew in our broadcast finale. 8 days of action-packed soccer here at MLS Next Cup, presented by Allstate. And we've been putting on games for the past 8 days. We might not have seen a better goal than that, scored in a final as well. That's got to be something he woke up this morning dreaming about, Brooks Barker.
Absolutely, man. That's what dreams are made of, and that's what finals typically deliver. You have some of your better players in any fixture. Here we have some of the best players in the country that are having to live up to some big moments, and that brings the best out of some very good talent here. Let's take a look here. Very good progression up the right-hand side. That's what we've been talking about in the last 5 minutes or so for Celtic Storm. It's a very good ball to release pressure. But look here, just that little peek shows the intention in the service. And go on, man. Get on your bike and have a joyride, because this is excellent stuff. Goes against the grain. Goalkeeper Steinbacher, he's been excellent throughout the course of this match, but has no answer for that finish.
The overhead sensation. Brooks Barker. And well, we were so caught up in loving on the finish. How about a word for the man who gets the assist as well? Kian Sid had a bit of time on the end line, and he picked out a pass for Brooks Barker to finish off.
Yeah, he's really come alive in this second half as well. He's creating some problems in the first half, but a little bit more intricate with his movement and timing. He and Huerman have really opened up this game as far as chance creation is concerned. The patience from Celtic Storm has been impressive, because the scoreline does not really inform you in terms of how difficult it's been for Celtic Storm to find the first ability to unlock this match, because St. Louis has done a very good job defending in numbers, putting numbers around the ball, congesting the middle, forcing Celtic to have to get any strikes on goal very quickly and, under duress. But the reason why they've been able to find joy, Celtic Storm, is because they've come up with different solutions to problems. Intricate movements like this have allowed them to shift the ball from side to side, and then when the opportunities present themselves, boom, they've been able to go with more venom in the second half. It's very well done from this side to read the game and understand how to solve problems. That is what separates good teams from excellent teams. they can adjust throughout the course of a match and figure out how to enter the house, if you will. If the front door isn't open, sometimes you got to find a side patio. If the side patio is closed, the back door is the way to go. So I really like how this team has stayed with it and stayed patient.
This is a deep, deep roster for Celtic Storm. Already mentioned a trio committed to Air Force. The man on his bike, Brooks Barker, is going to be a Georgetown Hoya. We've got a few kids already committed to Salt Lake Community College. We've got a few kids committed to Snow College. All in one U19 side. And they've got a 2-0 lead heading into the final 20 minutes in this U19 Academy Division final.
And you just mentioned Salt Lake Community College. The campus is just over the horizon of the stadium here. Some of the programs that you listed off are excellent landing spots for prolific talent.
Wilson into the area as St. Louis try and drag themselves back into the final. And he just ran out of room in the end. Been tough sledding in the attack. That's right on cue. Well, you know what you're talking about, my man. A little SLCC, slick as they call it around these parts. Now checking too is the man who scored the opener. It's Benjamin Bradley, and he's been available kind of as the quarterback in between the two center backs throughout the course of the match. Confidence in the first time pass around the defender there from Antonio Lopez.
Like that a lot there from Lopez.
He's been active. Hewerman steps in front. Loose ball. Sanders onto it for St. Louis. Over the top it goes, hoping Andrew Wolf can get onto it. Wolf in a chase. Peterson, so strong. He's one of those Air Force Academy boys. Yeah, for this Celtic Storm team.
Peterson hasn't had to do too much this afternoon, but when his number has been called, he's been excellent.
Straight ball down the middle. Gardner in behind. Gardner picks out the bottom corner. The hometown favorites are running riot in the second half. Celtic Storm 3, St. Louis Development Academy 0.
Celtic Storm.
Direct play here with intention. Right over the top in between the center backs. Releases Gardner, and Gardner does the rest. It's textbook finish there. Runs on with this one. Peeks over his left shoulder. Sees where the goalkeeper is and puts it where he is not. That is very good stuff from what you could class as the home side here. Celtic Storm, they're running away with this one. I really like what I've seen from their side. In general, they have broken down this very resolute St. Louis defense in a multitude of ways, and they deserve to be exactly where they are in this match, and that is 3-0 up in the 73rd.
It's a fine finish from Gardner for his first of the tournament. If they do hold on to the trophy, he'll have to be sending some gift baskets to his teammates. He was sent off in the round of 16. They managed to fight their way back in that one. Down to 10 men. And they found 2 late goals to get past Fox Soccer Academy Carolinas. And now Celtic Storm feeling it. Round the defender goes Barker. Past the second. Barker cuts it back. Some in the stadium thought it was a double for Gardner. And he's frustrated with himself. Perhaps it should have been.
I can't even lie to you. I thought he hit the back of the net too. The right-hand side of the attack for Celtic Storm has really come alive here. Skipping to that inline is exactly where you create so many problems. Why? You can see how many players in blue, they drop down because they're protecting that ball flash across the face. When you then cut it back, you have every opportunity to have a very clean look. Gardner's going to want that one back, but it's all good. He's hit the back of the net, and Celtic Storm, they will continue to find joy in this game.
Again, it's that joy down the right-hand side. Pulling up on the reins was Sid. And now Bradley. Another overload for Celtic Storm. They're finding gaps down that right-hand side, trying to exploit them once again. Just slipping away in the end from Sid. It'll go out for this goal kick to St. Louis. Substitutes being prepped by both teams as we're getting ready to head into the final quarter hour. That's loose, intercepted. Michaelis pouncing on it for the green and white. Infield to Sid. Tight quarters, finding the pass to Gardner. And that's a well-timed challenge along the back line. Just haven't really had anything in the attack in this second half, St. Louis. Back heel flick. Antonio Lopez kept his run going. Everyone wanted to get into the attack now for Celtic Storm. Subs to come. Salinas going to be withdrawn. Stevenson checking back in. Jace Thompson checking back in. Cameron Martin, 3 of the starters, checking back in for Celtic Storm. And Braden Missy and Kiefer Cole are going to re-enter the fray for St. Louis DA.
Number 6 and number 12, and entering number 14 and number 92.
Two key contributors on those goals are being saluted by the coaching staff on the near sideline for Celtic Storm. Key and Sid with the assists for the second. Corbin Gardner scoring the third. As you'd imagine, not quite the happy mood on the other bench as Ryan Sophie along with Sean Castaneda were those two withdrawn for St. Louis. Stewart was making himself available. The switch is on for Celtic Storm. In it goes. Hewerman gonna let it run. Hewerman taking over. Hewerman takes aim. Saved by Steinbacher. Don't know if we ever tied up that loose end. Jacob Steinbacher did, of course, remain out on the pitch, which was good news after that extensive look from the medical staff. Good to see that he was able to continue. Really couldn't do much about those goals scored by Celtic Storm.
Exactly. He's been good all game, and the goals that have found the back of the net have been no fault of St. Louis goalkeeper.
A hook over the shoulder from Missy. That's inviting the chase. .50-50. Won by St. Louis. Will it stay in? It will. Darting along the near side is Stobbs. Stobbs, edge of the box. Stobbs gets the cross away. Backtracking the defensive work there. And it was Peterson in the way. Now the ball slipped in behind. Goalkeeper out of his area. Got a touch. Still loose. The crowd screaming to take the shot on. Stevenson does so. A fabulous fourth for Celtic Storm. The crowd was urging him to shoot. He took his time. Patrick Stevenson there to make it 4-0.
Advancing up the field here through the middle. This is what we've seen from Celtic Storm throughout the course of this match. Staying with it is Patrick Stevenson here. He pirouettes. He more so listens to the energy of the crowd. We talked about the crowd being a factor in this match. He has eyes in the back of his head, but it's more so ears than anything. Look, he's looking to see what support he has, but then here's the crowd egging him on to have a strike. Pirouettes, hits the back of the net after a ricochet off the goalkeeper. Running away with this one is Celtic Storm. 4-0 here late in this match.
Another goal for Stevenson in the tournament. He scored against Fox Soccer Academy Carolinas. You talked about it earlier, Jalil. Sometimes when you get into those attacking areas around the box, the blood can rush to your head rather quickly. Well, he kept his composure there, impressively so.
Yeah, he definitely did. And composure, patience, ability And understanding the timing in which things need to happen is what has been ratcheted up for Celtic Storm. Doing a very good job to take their attacking killer instinct to the next level in the second half, and it's the reason why they find themselves up 4-0 in this match. Unless something happens that I have never seen in football, they're going to be champions here.
Just about 10 minutes plus stoppage time to go. They're looking for a fifth. It's onto the roof of the nets. A late run forward. And they're so close to finding their fifth there, Celtic Storm. I believe that was Landon Michaelis who was late arriving into the box. Such an inviting cross floated up towards that back post. Into the final 10 minutes. Bench is starting to empty as this one now looking like a foregone conclusion. Elijah Venetz will check in along with Doss Gibson for the blue shirts of St. Louis.
Leaving number 3 and number 13. Entering 83 and 21.
Kobe Lerma. Colton DeMann. Grayson Oram. Going to check in for Celtic Storm. Big hugs on the bench for the green and white, as some more of those key contributors check off, including Benjamin Bradley, who scored the opener, and they just have not looked back since he was there on hand to prod home from a corner kick. Into feet it goes. Missy. Good back to goal play there. Down the line, away from pressure. Celtic Storm moving forward through Stevenson, but it's picked off his toes only for a moment. Up, back, and through. Celtic Storm feeling it. Orm brings it down. Interception by Worrell. It's been a microcosm of the game, though. Every time they win it back, it's been so difficult for St. Louis to push up the pitch. They can do so here. That's an enterprising run, cutting from left to right, sliding into Wilson. Wilson trying to take his defender one-on-one. Instead, there's 2 and 3 in green and white there. Clearance might just turn into an out ball for Celtic Storm.
Uh-oh.
On the chase, Cameron Martin, and he wins it. He's looking for Brooks Barker. Throw in high up the pitch for Celtic Storm. Fitting through a tight space. Wilson can turn. Wilson finds a good ball. Charging forward is Missy. Missy into the area. Missy into a foul. You talked about it. He hasn't had a lot to do, Lewis Peterson, but he's hardly put a foot wrong at the back line throughout the course of the match.
No, he really hasn't. And when you look at the quality of players to see if they have what it takes to make the jump to the next level, he definitely has the ability to play at higher and higher levels. The reason why he can read the game at a high level. He also has the physicality, the athleticism, the intelligence. He's a type of player that also has a profile as well. So when you look at these types of players, whether they are extremely busy on the back line, to which he wasn't today, or if they just have a few crucial moments where they show that they know how to use their ability to affect the game for the positive, that's a player that you know can do very well at the next level.
Good passing range as his ears were burning. The flick on header from Martin, who continues his run. Martin into the area. back to front so swiftly there for Celtic Storm. Well, there, he's put a foot wrong. Peterson. It's a slight miscontrol on the long kick out from the goalkeeper. That won't frustrate him at all. It's out for a throw-in. Now he's back onto it, combining with his center half partner. Bright first touch around the defender. Maradona spin from Jace Thompson. Barker making himself available. He can turn. Barker feeding it through. Orem is in! Couldn't wrap his foot around it. It's an onslaught in green and white here in the second half, and they're full of confidence, Celtic Storm.
Yeah, they are, man. I don't like my chicken nuggets without sauce, and there it is right there. That's excellent stuff to come in off the bench and then pick up the rhythm of this game exactly where it's been in the second half, and that is in the full favor of Celtic Storm. A lot of their attacking players have found a lot of confidence here.
Barker, shot fake round one, into the area, down he goes, waved off by the referee, still with Celtic Storm. Back to Stevenson, scoops it through two defenders. They can't clear it, St. Louis. Another lovely cross fake, dipping and diving on the end line. Gets the cross away. And finally, St. Louis get a half clearance. Anywhere will do for St. Louis. Celtic Storm swag in this second half. They do well to break the pressure this time around, the blue shirts. Slipped into feet along the far side, cut back to the penalty spot, a swing and a miss. Stevenson gets the block in. And they're fighting to keep on to a clean sheet in this final as well. Chances on one end and then the other, but Celtic Storm feeling it here in the second half.
Yeah, they really are, and it's not just one player, it's not just two, it is the whole attacking unit. Their creativity is on very high alert. Physicality shows that they still have a lot more to give from that standpoint, but what I really like is that everybody is having themselves a fun afternoon on the side of Celtic Storm. They're wanting to put on a show here for their home fans. They're putting on a show for us here up in the booth.
Foul drawn by Orem. Free kick to come for Celtic Storm. They do take it short with Hewerman. Celtic Storm having the ball, you said, my friend. We've certainly had a ball throughout these past 8 days. Along with Jalil, I'm Carter. We thank you for joining us. As well, Celtic Storm not waiting around. They're looking for another kick save, and it's a beauty from Steinbacher. There was a man lurking on the doorstep in green and white. Corner late on into the match. Celtic Storm looking for a fifth to cap off a fine second half performance. A reminder, it was 0-0 at the break. Popped back to the top. Settled and from range, smashed wide by Kobe Lerma. Well, you're watching MLS Next Cup, presented by Allstate. We, of course, invite you and remind you to stick around for the finale of our broadcast schedule. U19 homegrown division to come, St. Louis City against Columbus Crew. And thank you for watching all week long. This is the finale for Jalil and I, as we'll hand it off to AJ and Kalen for that last match of the tournament. Just want to shout out our fantastic crew that have been bringing you the pictures, sights, and sounds throughout the course of the week. We got Daniel on graphics. We got Ian on tape. Fabulous camera crew here today. Jen and Ethan. Andrew, the engineering wizard. Colin, the audio legend. And our producer / director, Ryan. Thanks to our fabulous crew here in Utah throughout the week at MLS Next Cup, presented by Allstate.
And nothing happens without a good team. Celtic Storm understands that concept. We understand that concept in the booth. Nothing that Carter and I can do comes to light or to vision without our amazing crew. It's been a great time here in Salt Lake City area Beautiful confines here at Zions Bank Stadium.
Been a fabulous host, hasn't it been, Salt Lake City?
Oh, it's been fantastic.
And speaking of hosts, the home team wants one more little heel flick. Orem has his shot charged down. Final few seconds of the 90 ticking away. Maybe a bit of mercy to come from the referees in terms of stoppage time. We shall see. Loft over the top, toe to it, not enough. Sombrero, Martin in behind. Martin, maybe a bit too cheeky that time around.
4 minutes.
4 minutes added on at the end of the match. So an opportunity for St. Louis perhaps to pull one back. Wilson, dip of the shoulder. Wilson carves out a corner kick for St. Louis. 4 goals in the second half, 4 additional minutes at a minimum. We move into stoppage time in this U19 Academy Division final. Sanders. 2 hands to the sky. Flat service to the top of the box. Good first touch to bring it under control. Celtic Storm still left a man up in the attack. That was Jace Thompson. Down he goes. Free kick for Celtic Storm. Antonio Lopez splitting the seams. Hewerman lures in a couple defenders. He hands it off to Orem. Worrell back on the cover defensively. Only turning it behind for a corner. They're getting the camera phones ready, the Celtic Storm coaches. So proud of this group when talking to them pre-match, as they think they're going to make history, becoming 4-time national champions here today. Cutting through traffic was Kobe Lerma. Down he goes, nothing given. A little spin on the layoff as Missy does well to turn into the attack. Wilson into the box. Across comes Peterson. And he snuffs out the shot. Still full of pride about trying to keep on to a clean sheet as well as Celtic Storm. Would be their first in the tournament. Deflection on the cross. Big shout. Samuel Parker, haven't heard from him really in this second half. Showing his distribution skills though. Dropping a dime to the far side. Stevenson shows. Stevenson combining with Thompson. Stevenson still. Stevenson. Easy one for Steinbacher. Into the final 30 seconds or so. Barker skips past one. A clever pass in behind. Little scoop finish. And that caps off a 5-star final for Celtic Storm. A brace in the championship match for Patrick Stevenson. 5-0 Celtic Storm.
Passing patterns for Celtic Storm. We've talked about it time and time again. A little scoop finish there to put an exclamation mark. I like the professionalism from Stevenson in a very subdued celebration when you go up 5-0 late in the match on a final. Also want to respect your opponent there. I like that. Very classy from Stevenson. classy finish as well.
The final kick of the match is a goal. Celtic Storm swagging in the second half. It's a stylish Celtic Storm victory as they are crowned MLS Next Cup champions in the U19 Academy Division. The hometown heroes bringing joy to the fans in the stands, and it's a water bath for the coaching staff. A group that just knows how to win, and they get the job done in the final here today at Zions Bank Stadium. Let's have a look at the man of the match presented by Adidas. It's going to be Brooks Barker.
Yeah, whenever you hit a bike like that, you're going to be the man of the match, and your team goes to score 3 more goals unanswered after this one. This is an excellent one from Brooks Barker. He is our Adidas man of the match. He's getting dap-ups and hugs from the family members, and they are very well deserved. Track this young man's career because he will be highlighting headlines for years to come.
Brooks Barker on his bike, a Chilena in the final, something to dream about, and the dreams come true for Celtic Storm. They said they were so excited when they found out that Salt Lake City would be the host city for MLS Next Cup. They make that home advantage pay as they can celebrate with friends and family. They packed into the stands in the green and white here at Zions Bank Stadium. They'll sleep in their own beds tonight with the gold medal from MLS Next Cup. Nil-nil at halftime. 5 goals poured in throughout that second half by the hometown favorites, Celtic Storm. And as they celebrate the U19 Academy title, we've got one more championship match to bring to you live from Salt Lake City area. U19 homegrown final, St. Louis City SC against Columbus Crew, kicking off in just about 50 minutes time here at MLS Next Cup, presented by Allstate. Five-star performance from Celtic Storm. They're crowned champions in the U19 Academy Division as they defeat St. Louis Development Academy by 5-0 at MLS Next Cup. Celtic Storm victorious by 5-0 over St. Louis Development Academy in the U19 Academy Division Final at MLS Next Cup presented by Allstate. It was 0-0 at the break, but just about 10 minutes into the second half, Celtic Storm had the breakthrough.
Kick here, and this is good stuff to be able to keep yourself alive, find the back of the net off of a set piece.
1-0 thanks to Benjamin Bradley, who was alert inside the area. The second goal scored by Celtic Storm, perhaps the goal of the tournament.
Oh yeah, I have zero arguments with this. Get down to the end line, serve it up. Oh yeah, that is excellent. It's brilliant. It is high degree of difficulty. So much sauce, so much swag to be able to rise up there, turn your body, hit the bicycle kick, celebrate to the corner, dap-ups and hugs for all due cause.
Brooks Barker on his bike as he's been pouring in the goals throughout the tournament, and Celtic Storm poured the goals in throughout this second half.
You score 1, you score 2, the game opens up. You're allowed to go route 1 there. Ball over the top, very good composure. The substitute bangs this one home.
Corbin Gardner picks out the bottom corner. 3-0 Celtic Storm. They weren't done just yet. They were full of confidence throughout the second half. And a man full of confidence was Patrick Stevenson for the fourth.
Yeah, Stevenson gets his first on the afternoon here. We will continue to talk about him. He listens to the ambiance here in the stadium, egging him on, letting him know that he should turn goalkeepers off his line. Does exactly that, peeks over his shoulder, and then puts it in the back of the net.
And to it from the goalkeeper, not enough to keep it out. Celtic Storm 4-0. But they would add a fifth with the final kick of the match. It was that man again.
Yeah, Stevenson does a very good job to find himself in a dangerous area, scoops it over the goalkeeper. What I like about the celebration is that it's subdued. It's the fifth goal on the afternoon. Celtic Storm, they know that they are the champions, but they also do it in a classic fashion.
The hometown heroes get the job done. Celtic Storm, champions of the U19 Academy Division at MLS NEXT Cup. Welcome back in. We're wrapping up the U19 Academy Division Final at MLS NEXT Cup, presented by Allstate. The champions, Celtic Storm, representing Utah here in the home states. And we're going to send it over to the awards ceremony, the medals for the winners and the runners-up, as well as the individual awards here at the end of a fine tournament. We'll send it down to former New York Red Bull and U.S. international goalkeeper Luis Robles.
Ladies and gentlemen, those in stadium and watching online, let's give a round of applause for both teams. We have St. Louis Development Academy and Celtic Storm. Before we get to the medals, we want to recognize a couple of individual performers with some awards. We'll begin with the top scorer in the U19 Academy Division. From Celtic Storm, we have Brooks Barker. Let's give it up one more time for Brooks Barker. Oh, just joking. The next individual award is the most outstanding defensive player for the U19 Academy Division. From Celtic Storm, Axel Antonio Lopez. And one more time for Axel. Congratulations. And our final individual award is the MVP presented by Adidas for the U19 Academy Division at MLS NEXT Cup, presented by Allstate, also Celtic Storm, and once again, Brooks Barker. One more time for Brooks Barker. We had a thrilling final, and in order for these games to be played, of course, we have the players, the coaches, and the staff, but we couldn't have a match without an outstanding officiating crew. So let's give a round of applause for our officials in today's match. One more time, big round of applause for our officials. On behalf of Major League Soccer and MLS Next, this was a big year for us in 25-26 as we launched the second division. And we want to say thank you for both clubs for being a part of it. We're very grateful for your participation in a great event that culminated in an awesome final. So before we get to the medals, I think it's also really important. when you think about the journey that these players go on, it's impossible for those journeys to take place without an incredible support that comes from parents, from family. So let's give it up for all of our parents that are here in the stadium and watching online. And next we have the runner-up medals, St. Louis Development Academy. Thank you for a great event. Thank you for being here. A round of applause. The U19 Academy Division runner-up, St. Louis Development Academy. One more round of applause for St. Louis Development Academy. And without further ado, it gives me great pleasure on behalf of MLS Next to announce our first ever U19 Academy Division champions at MLS NEXT Cup presented by Allstate. We have Celtic Storm. Give them a round of applause.
Hometown heroes in Utah. Congratulations to the U19 Academy Division champions at MLS Next Cup presented by Allstate. Congratulations to Celtic Storm. This copyrighted broadcast of the 2026 MLS NEXT Cup may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Player Development, LLC.